And we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, Bryan Broaddus doing a lot of ripping and running. And I'm just getting this. I'm just getting this energy that he's just tired and sick right now, that he possibly needs a break. But
no, not at all. Not at all. We're good to go. A lot of good things going on with the studio. Excited about the equipment we got coming. Excited about poking a big hole in the wall and making the studio for us. An engineering room. It's a lot of good positive things going on right now. So we're rolling. We're rolling. I'm just gonna, like I say, it's gonna probably take me the summer to get everything up and running, but we will be up and going here in a few months, and I'm really excited about that.
I was about to get on to you because you don't let me be tired and take breaks. You don't allow me to be tired. Or else you'll shame me, Bryan. So I don't want to start shaming you. Okay.
You know me. I'll shame you now if it means getting some work out of you. I wonder what Derek's going to talk about tomorrow on the break.
I don't know.
He's got going. Well, he bounces around all over the place. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see what he's got going.
I kind of like the idea that we just show up and have no clue what's going on, and we just
we never do. That's the great thing about Derek Eagleton, that he does that. But we better get to talking football, because everybody now timestamps when we talk football is what we do. We're being put on watch. Right, at 5:39. They talked football.
Forget them people, man. Look, this is YouTube. They can easily hit the rewind button.
Yeah.
If they goofy enough to sit around and wait, like, hey, when they gonna start talking about football? You can skip ahead if you want to, but you can't save everybody.
But we get time stamped. I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, I appreciate you keeping me to task on talking football, my friend. Oh, I love it. I love it. Running backs, right? Running backs tonight. We talked about running backs a lot. They got the right set of running backs here, you think?
Man, Bryan Broaddus, I was doing a little research, man. I was just doing some.
Oh, were you? Glad somebody's doing some research around here.
I was doing some research, man.
Oh, you're doing some research. All right.
And Bryan, you had this quote that was incredibly poignant a couple of months ago. You was like, Voch Lombardi, the only thing that the Cowboys have done to improve this running game is hire some coaches.
That's true.
Clayton Adams is a guy, you go back and tap into his history.
Yeah.
He's made a solid rusher out of James Conner and Marlon Mack with the Colts and the Cardinals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And those offensive lines were cool, but they weren't stellar, Bryan Broaddus.
Mm-hmm.
It's looking like Javonte Williams and Jadon Blue are going to be the guys. Miles Sanders could pop out and surprise us, Bryan Broaddus, but I think it's going to be Javonte and old Jadon Blue. Bryan, do you think we have enough talent per the coach that we have, right? That is proven to take talent and bloom it and blossom it or whatever, right? Do you think Javonte Williams is enough?
No, I don't. I really don't. I think I bet you Sean Payton, when they called Sean Payton and asked him about the player, I bet you Sean said he's a really good blocker, catches the ball well. We didn't have very much productivity with him as a runner. That'd be my question. That would be, and if I was Jerry Jones, I'd be like, okay, well, what else? Well, great kid. We really, it's unfortunate with the knee injury, set him back. It's probably the things they were talking about. But no, I could see this as a position. I could see it. This is just my 2 cents, folks. So bear with me here. You can call me to task, since we're doing that nowadays, and I appreciate that. This could be one of those positions like we saw with defensive tackle, that they're rolling guys in and out of it. I could see now. Me personally, I want to see Maffa, because I didn't have him in the equation. I didn't have him in the equation. They did. They had Maffa in the equation. I was, hey, let's take Allen from Syracuse. You're like, let's take Krosky Merritt from
Arizona.
New Mexico, Arizona. you and I were thinking a whole different direction here. Yeah. And we're like, okay, they're going to, let's see, man, they got some, this running back room is deep. Deep. Look at these guys, deep guys. I didn't have Maffa in that part of that equation. Yeah. I don't think you did either. No. I'm interested because I want to be so wrong about these running backs. I want to be wrong. I want to be wrong that, well, you're kind of, this is what Williams is. And, this is what Sanders is. And this is what I know what Blue is. I mean, I have a feel for what Blue is. Blue might be the guy that they hand the ball to all the time. The only knock on Blue was ball security. Played a rotating system at Texas. Maybe he could be that guy. 196 pounds. Maybe he could be that guy. Get to the edge, explode, outrun angles, all those things. Maffa is interesting to me because I don't know Maffa. I've seen Maffa on Clemson tape. I have an idea, kind of like a powerful guy, inside runner, maybe gets caught, maybe not a finisher, but a powerful guy. They obviously had Maffa over the guys I mentioned, Allen, Krosky Merritt, those guys that were in that 7th round group. I hope I'm way wrong about this position, but I kind of see I don't see them just saying, oh, let's kind of wait and see if it doesn't look right. God, I hope Will McClay just says, all right, let's churn this thing a little bit. We got Chubb on speed dial. What do we got going here? What kind of backs? Do we got some surplus we can deal? Maybe there's a back that we're not thinking about. I don't think this running back group is set. I don't. You got to prove to me, but I sure hope they prove to me. I do. Because I have not been, and I'm sorry, I'm speaking too much.
Please.
I've been on this group. I absolutely feel good about Blue, and I feel good about Hunter Lipke. Everybody else, prove it to me. Prove me wrong. And I don't know, but I'd sure love for them. I'd sure love to be at training camp and, look at that run. Look at that. Look what Williams was able to do. Nice. Oh, good catch. Look what Sanders. Oh, Sanders. Then that one-on-one period. Look at that play. Oh, look what he did on the goal line. Love to be able to talk about that. Don't know if I will be able to, though. I have questions about that group.
Bryan Broaddus about the nature of, running back and
I don't think it just falls off trees, by the way. I'm not one of these, just
see, Brian, see, running back doesn't fall off trees, but
it's okay.
But you can reach him and pull him off the tree pretty easily.
Damn right. And I hope that guy's Blue.
You know who does this a lot, Brian? Watch it. You know who does this a lot? San Francisco does this a bunch. You remember when they drafted Trey Sermon?
Yeah.
But Eli Mitchell from the 6th round and Tyrion Ingram Price and Jordan Mason ended up being the guys, and then Chris McCaffrey
Mason.
got there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, they find guys if the scheme is right. That's what I'm trying to get across to you, right? They find guys if the scheme is right. In Indianapolis, Marlon Mack was there.
Yeah.
And Connor Riley made him a guy. Connor Riley left. We ain't hear nothing from Marlon Mack. So what I'm asking is, Brian, on top of this too, you can add this to the pot also, right? The Cowboys showed us what they really felt about right guard. They moved with some urgency. The Cowboys showed you what they really felt about wide receiver too. They moved with some urgency. I think we know how they feel about cornerback, and I think they working on that. But Brian, your miscellaneous Illuminati character text you back and say, hey man, we straight on running back.
Yeah.
Why you think that is, Brian?
Man, that one I think they want, this is just speculation.
Sure.
They've gone about this. The one thing that they've done that I totally agree with is the drafting of Blue. Everything else has been, wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm excited about the coaches. I told you that.
Sure.
I'm excited about these coaches. I'll be interested to see about the scheme because they told us as we asked them the question, well, what about, pin and pull? What about if, hey,
we ain't doing it.
We're not good. We ain't good enough. We ain't good enough. And what's the thing when we started talking about Clayton Adams? Wow. Look what Arizona does. Look at that. We're just rattling off everything that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Coach telling us, hey, if we're not good enough at that, we ain't doing that. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm interested in this. I wonder if these coaches came in and, man, I'd love to be able to ask Clayton Adams this question. Now that, and maybe you do it at training camp because you drafted a guy in Booker. It's a powerful SOB.
Yeah.
You didn't draft like a pin and pull or outside zone guy. You drafted a mauler inside. Who's a good athlete. I think that there's some others, like I said, I think the Ohio State kid
sure
was probably a little bit better athlete.
Mm-hmm.
But you drafted somebody that's a mauler. And I mean that in respect. I don't mean that as this is just a football in a phone booth guy. And he has no, Booker can move, but he's not like
Guyton or Big Tyler or Terrence and them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So to me, did they come in and did they watch the tape and determine that? Did they watch Steele?
Mm-hmm.
And did they watch how, he was able to work, when they changed guards? Did they watch the tape and go, well, man, we should be more of a zone scheme, more inside zone? And you wonder with the runners that Blue could do it all. Blue could do it all. But you have the offensive lineman that can do it all.
Sure.
So I wonder if they came in and said, wow, we got these kinds of blockers. Who would you think the best pin and pull guy could be?
The best pin and pull lineman that we have?
Yeah.
I would imagine it'll be some combination of tight end pinning while Guyton is pulling or Guyton blocking down while Big Tyler's pulling.
Yeah. Or Steele.
That
kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody else is kind of just come off the ball, get into you,
and whoop feet.
Especially that right guard. That right guard will whip your ass.
Sure. Him and BB gonna move a lot of bodies together for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So do your running backs have to be, or maybe they feel, and I'm trying to answer your question. Mm-hmm. Maybe they feel they got the right backs.
They got the O-line, they got the scheme. So we're just gonna get guys that work as opposed to like the best guys we could just possibly find. Just because Maffa's gonna work well with running people over because that's how he runs and all that kind of stuff. And Javonte Williams was a thumping back for sure, and maybe that pairs well with the stuff.
And Blue, and then maybe Turpin is a mix-in kind of and Hunter Lipke.
Lipke.
They might. Well. That's why my Illuminati guy said we're done.
Yeah.
No, we're done right now. We're done because somebody in the coaching staff probably said the way we're going to run our scheme, we've got the right backs. Mm-hmm. So they're not Blue. I keep saying it. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I repeat myself.
I don't think none of these guys keeping you from drafting a running back next year neither, by the way.
You know me. Once I found out what Rico Dowdle got,
Mm-hmm. Just give me another. Look. Yo, look. Can we get a take back? I got the $3 million right here. Can we get a take back and get Rico back?
Did they misjudge what he was going to get?
Yeah, Brian, of course. Or it could be Rico didn't want to come back. It could be because Brian,
that could very well be the issue.
That whole Zeke thing in San Francisco. Yeah. All right, Rico, you're gonna play like you're sick, so Dalvin Cook can get some reps, and he did nothing with it. If I was Rico, I wouldn't want to come back.
Yeah,
I think Rico would rather make $3 million somewhere else than to make 3.5 over here or whatever it was.
We pissed him off, didn't we?
I bet. If I had to bet,
I would bet that too.
And he's a competitive dude. He's a pro football player, and everybody except Zeke and his parents, and Dalvin Cook and his parents and his brother and his uncle, everybody else knew that Dalvin Cook, Rico Dowdle was the best running back on the squad.
It was that way in training camp, and they refused to practice Zeke. You know, it's like they were getting Zeke ready, and I go, for what?
They're resting. Zeke ain't getting no reps in preseason. He's just
none.
He's resting.
Let me tell you what. I would love for Shottenheimer to come out and say we're playing our guys in preseason.
Yeah.
And I admit it, I'm the world's worst when it comes to, well, man, you get those guys hurt, I can't replace them.
Sure.
I'm that guy.
Yeah.
But in this case, you need to play these guys.
One drive won't hurt.
You need to take 2 drives. You need to take an Andy Reid approach here. Now, some people say, well, look what McVay does with the Rams. Look what
we ain't them. We
ain't them. We got to figure out how to run the damn ball. And I don't care if it's 2 series in a preseason game. I don't care if I'm running against the backups of the Atlanta Falcons or the backups against the Baltimore Ravens, or the backups against the Los Angeles Rams. I need to figure this out. I need to have some positivity coming out of here that it's not going to be week 6 that all of a sudden the running game decides to get used.
Sure.
But I bet you, Voch, that they're in a situation right now where they're like, we've got the right backs for the scheme we're going to run.
And there's always post June 1 and like practice squad, stuff, right? And then cuts after the, training camp stuff. There's always that. And
they'll churn it. They'll churn it. They proved that when they added, when they last year and they were shuffling those defensive tackles,
sure.
They were bringing in defensive ends. I know they lost Sam Williams and they had to do some things, but they proved that and I hope that Shotty's not one of these. Well, because there's some, the old administration, they really love their guys. God, we love our guys. We love our guys. Don't love your guys.
Yeah.
Don't, if there's, I'll give him credit. George Pickens, never in a million years.
You fought for him too.
Yeah.
Brian, so I'm gonna go back to running back because I do have 2 more running back questions for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a live stream and Brian, I was getting busy. I was going crazy on this live stream, right? And I thought about something, Brian. There were 2 clips about Shottenheimer, right? One was Will McClay saying, "Oh yeah, Shotty and XYZ they pushed for George Pickens," right? Then Shotty came out himself. He said, "Yeah, we did the research and boom, 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 and we know exactly what we're getting with George Pickens because I've done the research and we know what we're getting, right?"
Mm-hmm.
Brian, let me just ask you a question. Mike McCarthy didn't even know that they was trading for Trey Lance. He came out on 105.3 The Fan to say, he said, "Hey, I didn't even know they was trading for Trey Lance." You know what I'm saying? He didn't even know. But not only did Shotty know that they was trading for George, he was involved in the conversations with George. He did plenty of research, like he said. And even with all the reports, he gave a report back and said, "Yeah, I'll run with you." Yeah. Brian, if I had to guess, Brian, I think the Joneses got a little confidence in Shottenheimer that he'll put his nuts on the table, so to speak. Right? And if I had to bet, I could be wrong. You got more sources than me, but your sources are my sources. I'm willing to bet that the conversation was, we got Rashad Bateman who's clean, but he may not be as good. And we got Pickens who's phenomenal, but it might come with a little extra work. Brian, I'm willing to bet. Just by listening to how everybody listen to Steven throw little hints in there and Will McClay. I'm willing to bet Shottenheimer said, I'll take the more difficult dude to win some football games. Meanwhile, Mike McCarthy didn't even know that they was trading for Trey Lance, Brian.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Two things. Bateman for a 2. Pickens for a 3.
Right.
That had something to do with it, I think.
Sure.
The fact that Bateman wanted to redo his contract, another thing. Okay, that all being said,
cool.
I think Pickens is a better player myself.
100%.
All right, here we go. Shotty, Seattle, Pete Carroll, watching how he handles difficult players. I could do this. Second thing. Shotty learned something when he worked with Dan Quinn on defense. You know what he learned?
What did you learn?
He watched Will McClay and Quinn. And it's just terrible radio, but if you're watching, I'm crossing my fingers, like two guys together.
Yeah.
Shotty saw how much Quinn got done befriending Will McClay. Where we talked about this before, was Mike McCarthy the best friend to Will McClay? Probably not.
Nah, he ain't cool.
Probably not.
Cool.
Probably not. Took Will McClay out of the booth. Will McClay used to call personnel for Mike McCarthy or for Dan Quinn. DQ, 12 personnel, 11 personnel. They're 11 personnel. What happened to Will McClay? Not sitting in the booth anymore.
Yeah.
Who removed him? Head coach. Head coach took him out of the booth. I think Brian Shottenheimer, being in the building, saw the problems that Mike McCarthy had with personnel, with getting things done. I think he saw that. And he said, let me saddle up over here to Will McClay. Let me be involved. Let me roll up my sleeves and want to be in the middle of all this. Let me want to go to pro days and let me want to go. The other guy was like, nah, I'm not interested in doing that. Man, I'll go to Alabama.
Yeah.
Go to Michigan. Sure. Why not? I'm supposed to be a head coach. I think Brian Schottenheimer learned from Pete Carroll. We talked about this. I think he learned from Pete Carroll, like, John Snyder wasn't always interested in taking the player that was a little on the edge. John, that was not the Packer way. We were always like, want the guy that loves football, want that guy. Pete Carroll's like, John, draft the guy. Draft him. I've dealt with these. I've dealt with worse. We can do this. We can make it work. Schottenheimer saw that and how to handle guys. Besides that, they're really looking at a situation where George Pickens is trying to get paid. He's going to be on his best behavior. David Mulugeta, the agent, is going, George, if you could just hold your tongue, we can make $10 million extra. Just hold your tongue. Don't be combative. Don't pout. Don't be locker room guy that's like
too loud, too reckless,
go talk. Hey, George, what's going on? Yeah. Need to talk to Shotty. Then the next Monday morning on Get Up, Shut Up, whatever the shows they have. Yeah. We're talking. Is there a problem in the Cowboys locker room? Stephen A., what do you think?
Yeah.
Is there a problem? Yeah. David Mulugeta, you're really getting George Pickens on his best behavior. Because if George Pickens comes in here and poops in the bed and becomes malcontent, nobody's going to pay him. I don't care how talented you are. But he comes out and has a great year, model citizen, does everything he's supposed to do, keeps his mouth shut. Brian Schottenheimer is going to get the best version of George Pickens. It's when you sign him long term that it could be an absolute hold your ass moment.
Mm-hmm.
But this year, you're probably going to get the best version because David Mulugeta, the agent, has said, just hold your tongue. Hold your tongue. We can navigate this. Just hold your tongue. If not here, let's think about somewhere else. So Schottenheimer, I think Schottenheimer's in a good spot. You know, we're getting all these players now like tweeting, it's fun again. It's, you know, I hope all this kumbaya stuff leads to victories.
It has to.
Because if it doesn't, I don't want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear the, wow, football's fun again and all, you know, you better players, if you really want to keep the fun aspect of this and keep this coach around, you better play your ass off for this guy. Yeah. You better play your ass off because this thing goes 2 and 14, how many play Saint games now? 17 games?
Oh, we drafting Bryan Broaddus. Oh.
I'm just telling you, Crown Global Media is having draft. We're having catch all the content because we're talking about it anyway. But I'm just saying that I think there's a couple of things like Shotty's going to catch George Pickens on his best behavior. Shotty thinks he could coach the player that might be a little rough around the edges. And Shotty has learned everything that Mike McCarthy wasn't willing to do, that Dan Quinn was willing to do. Become friends with Will McClay, show an interest in personnel, sidle up to the scouts when they're in the room, and all of a sudden the scout says something and a coach is trying to say, well, I don't know. And then Shotty goes, I think that Mitch LaPointe's right there. Let's let the scouts scout here, boys. Let's let the scouts, there's a way to play this game.
Sure.
And I think Schottenheimer is trying to play the game in a way to bring what he's already got the media sucked in.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the media. You didn't like that sound effects, did you?
I didn't know what the hell was going on, but yeah, he does.
He's got us all.
Yep.
Oh, Shotty.
Yep.
He's the guy,
Yeah.
Bro, you better win some games.
You're damn right.
That ping pong table and all that other crap.
That don't mean nothing.
That don't mean shit.
Yeah.
If all of a sudden you're 2-6, don't mean anything. So Schottenheimer's, he knows how to survive.
Yeah.
He knows how to, because you got it in the NFL, you got to play this game. He'll play it. He'll play it.
I got one more quick one for you, Bryan Broaddus. I mean,
sure.
Last one has some depth to it. This just
I talk too much, man. Sorry about that.
Nah, it's been a long day for you. You want to get these takes out. And me and you ain't worked since last Thursday. I get it.
Well, I think it's good. I think, like I say, the running back stuff, the coach and all that.
Well, I got one more for you then, Brian.
All right, go ahead.
Why do you think Chuba Hubbard took Miles Sanders' job? Is Miles Sanders Zeke, or he just needed somewhere new to go? Why was he so good with the Eagles and so regular with the Panthers?
Do you kind of feel like that? And this is reckless of me to say. You feel like Carolina's a place where players go to die.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Like your career goes to die. Hey, look.
They don't just give away the number 1 overall pick, Brian.
No.
Or like a top 5 type pick or whatever. Like, they don't just give those away, Brian.
No. The thing about it is, though, Miles Sanders, they had enough, man. They like, okay, we got other backs. They do what really good teams, and I know people out there, and they're going to be in the comments. I'll see them at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
F the Eagles brought us. Stop kissing the Eagles' ass. Yeah. I'm not kissing the Eagles' ass. I do admire the way that if they're done with a player, they move on. They took advantage of the Giants in Saquon Barkley.
Yeah.
They took advantage of Saquon Barkley with the Giants. His career was going, to me, going nowhere. Going nowhere. He was going to the point of, God, what happened to Saquon Barkley? Well, what he was able to do with the Eagles last year is the vision that the Giants had of him as a player. But it didn't work. Didn't work.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, man, I think that Carolina, there's, constant ever since that David Tepper took over the ownership.
Yeah.
Not that Jerry Richardson was any great soul, but that David Tepper, a lot of indecision, a lot of missed picks, a lot of shuffling coaches in and out of there. Yeah. It's probably a place where Sanders, like I say, I hope that proves me wrong.
Brian, I was minding my business, man, but I got a bing on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And man, just sometimes people bring certain things to the party that they want me to just talk about on the show. I don't know why they tag me and stuff like this, Bryan Broaddus, but apparently one of my draft guys making some waves, Brian. I just want to put it up on the screen real fast if you don't mind, Brian. They said somebody said Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is the most explosive back on the Commanders at the moment. Even as a 7th round rookie, nobody in Washington's running back room has the quickness and one-cut explosiveness via Ben Stadig. Okay, let's go see what Ben Stadig said. We ain't got to go look real hard, Bryan Broaddus, but man, boy, it sure would have been nice to have Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt just running around, Bryan Broaddus. I ain't trying to be that guy, but just in the middle of
he was picked right after Moff, I believe.
Right after. In the middle of us talking about running backs today, Bryan Broaddus.
Yeah.
I would be sick if this guy ended up being a guy. You know what I mean? Maybe I could ask you that, Brian. Like, what draft pick that the Cowboys didn't draft that you love, and if they ended up being a guy, you just be sick? And somebody tagged me to this and say, hey, man, Voch been on this. If Krosky-Merritt's a guy, I'm cussing. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially playing for the Commanders.
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. He's the most explosive running back they got in their roster right now. Ugh. Whatever, Brian.
I'll tell you the one that's going to get me.
Well, who?
And it happened early in the draft. There's a couple of them. I hated losing Simmons.
Yeah. Simmons. Yeah. Simmons.
I'm telling you what, man. I hated losing Makuba.
Man. Ugh.
And he went to the team.
To the freaking Eagles, bro.
I'm like, I love the way he plays. And the fact that now I have to watch him twice a year
sucks.
They their safeties were actually making the turnovers. It wasn't the corners last year. I don't think the corners had many interceptions. I think it was their safety. It was Blankenship and our guy hyphenated man.
Three name
Johnson.
Gardner Johnson, CJ Gardner Johnson.
Gardner Johnson, Gardner Johnson.
And
they win the Super Bowl and they're like, Gardner Johnson, we brought you back. Hey, thanks for the time, bump.
We'll just take the linebacker from Bama and damn Andrew Makuba and just have a party. This sucks.
That one makes me. I'm glad Makuba got drafted. I'm glad he got picked in the second round.
Sure, 64.
I hated the team he went to. If you could have gone 64 to any other team in the league, I would have been. But when they made that pick, I went F.
That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame.
But see, but Krosky-Merritt, you were higher on Krosky-Merritt than me.
You wasn't the biggest fan. You wasn't the biggest.
Wasn't the biggest fan. I had one game, but you go back and watch the New Mexico games.
Yeah,
you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but I liked Allen. And the fact that he caught like 64 balls for Syracuse.
Yeah. Well, Brian, we're just gonna have to wait it out and see. The guys that we have are our guys. You know what I mean? And
I think that to circle back real quick on that, I think that they look at their scheme and they probably feel like they have the right guys for their scheme.
Sure.
That would be my That'd be my discussion.
There's no room in this offense for two explosive guys. I mean, we do have Jadon Blue as an explosive, but we don't need two explosive guys, right? Yeah, I mean. Deuce Vaughn probably getting cut, huh? Quickly, he's probably getting cut.
Well, Deuce Vaughn can't play special teams.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to be able to. You need to be big enough. And Deuce Vaughn, great college player, and we'll see. But I just don't see an avenue to how to get him to the games. Yeah. Unless he wins the second. Unless he wins the job. I do. I think Blue's going to become the guy they're going to hand the ball to. And like I said, if ball security stays in check, he's going to make a lot of plays. Yeah. Make a lot of plays.
Brian, I'm about to go take a nap, man. This was fantastic talking to you.
No hockey tonight? No hockey tonight?
Yeah, I'm watching, man.
What's the score?
2-1. The Stars got smoked last game.
Stars losing or winning 2-1?
They're losing 2-1.
Yeah. How much time left in the second?
They got 4 minutes left in the second period. Then they're gonna have a long break to fix the ice, and then they're gonna come back out for the third period. Brian, I was concerned.
It's desperate team theory right now. Stars are a desperate team playing in this thing.
I was concerned after that first game because the Stars won, but they kept getting beat up in all the fights. Like, do you get extra points for winning the fights?
No extra points.
Oh, that's trash.
But it's always neat when a team gets kind of beat up at the end. They lose in the game, and so they kind of send a message. Mm-hmm. So we'll kind of be a little chippy at the end of it. But if Dallas goes down 3-1 in this one, if they lose this game, they're not beating Edmonton 3 straight games. They're just not. Edmonton will win this. Whether Dallas might win on Thursday night, but they have to go back to Edmonton, and it's just Dallas has not done very well there. We'll see. Dallas needs this game. Yeah. So mark this. We had football talk for a certain section, and now we had hockey talk. So
hey, the Pacers must be really good, huh? They out here just how about the Pacers?
Hey man, we got our own podcast studio, bro.
Crown Globe is your one-stop shop, huh?
We got it all covered.
Hey, what about this Paige Buckers character? What?
Paige Beckers. Beckers.
What her name is?
Paige Beckers, yeah.
How about that, boy? She's shooting the ball out there and scoring it, boy. Ooh,
Dallas Wings. Let's have some Dallas Wings talk.
That's the name of it, Wings? That's the name of the team?
Wings. Dallas Wings.
Dallas Wings and Stars.
Yeah.
And we got the boy playing with the Mavericks. All right, y'all. We appreciate y'all for tapping in with us. We love y'all to pieces. Y'all follow me at VOCHLOMBARDI. Y'all follow me at BRY. Ian Broaddus. He changed his Twitter profile pic, so of course he's walking on sunshine there. But yeah, tap in with him so you can get all of the updates. And I don't know, we might send a picture of some demolition stuff and them breaking down the walls so you can get before and afters. I don't know what.
Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna chart our the growth of this the
growth of the studio.
And so I'm excited about that. I really am.
There you go. Hey, we'll catch y'all tomorrow. All right, and we'll talk about some more football stuff, and it'll be fun. It'll be cool. All right, Crown Global Media.